Okay.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then it's all
Really
working.
big echo? Because I hear an echo.
Yeah. Maybe because of the room you're in?
Yeah, probably. But I don't have headphones, so nothing I can do about it.
Damn.
Well, nothing I can do about it for now.
Didn't you bring your headphones also, or did you not use headphones before?
I never use headphones. I normally hate them, but yeah, it's definitely different acoustics in this room.
Yeah, you don't have, it sounds like you don't have a buffer. Like nothing to catch it in the background.
No. Oh well, we'll make it through. I'm sure our two people in the audience will appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be like, we're hearing your voice twice.
All right. So, did we advertise it? Let me just paste it in. I'll paste it in Telegram if you want to make sure it starts the event in Discord to paste to them.
It started. It started on its own. It just didn't do a ping. So
Yeah.
let me
Hello,
just
Mr.
reshare.
Juniper.
Let me reshare the at here. Evening, Juniper. How you doing, sir? I think this is our 8th reveal. Damn, we are far.
We're almost towards the end of the reveals. Hopefully, we're almost towards the end of the bear season.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you're doing well. You know, it's been a crazy few weeks in crypto after all. Very crazy.
All right, just posting this in Telegram.
You know, we can say us humans are doing well, but our crypto isn't.
All right. So, without further ado, we can get started.
Okay. We'll go
Actually,
first.
I don't know. I haven't followed it too closely. I saw that supposedly the whole news about the subpoena thing was fake, which would
Wait,
not
wait, wait.
surprise me. But even if they did, I don't think they can do much. I mean, they did do antitrust stuff against Microsoft way back in the day, but I think what is it called? Antitrust? Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, yeah.
full bullshit. Anyways, I mean, basically, you're telling a company, "Hey, you did really well. We need to punish you because others didn't do as well as you, and now they're behind."
Mm.
But yeah, I haven't followed up on if it really was fake or really wasn't or whatnot. But when I get into my evening read the Twitter news, I'll see what comes of that.
I mean, considering we haven't heard anything of it, I think it's probably very much just a whole lot of nonsense.
Yeah, I think they're at the size where very little's going to hurt them, including the U.S. government. But I keep seeing people say now AI coins are canceled, the alt seasons are never going to come, and so the more you keep seeing that, the more bullish I get, because usually the vast majority of people, whatever they're hardcore in favor of, is wrong.
That's very true. That is very true. And I mean, it's kind of like it's weird when sentiment seems negative. That's when everything starts pumping. You're just like, what? What do you
Yeah, well,
mean?
people say like if you follow contrarian trading, you'll always do much better.
Mm.
So you
So,
just trade against the popular opinion, and you'll turn out better than if you follow it.
Juniper asked did Pelosi actually sell her shares? That's a good question.
All right, so I don't know if anyone is here but Juniper, but I guess we might as well proceed and they can watch the recording later.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
today, week 8 of our reveals. Let's start with AI. So for AI, we have AGI, which is Delium. Do you call it Delium or Delium?
I would probably say Delium.
Yeah, I think it's Delium.
I also think so.
Well, Delium is basically looking to create a decentralized AI-powered metaverse, blending some gaming and AI use for their user-centric digital universe. Their token AGI is used for governance, which again,
Oh,
anyone who's
no.
watched these videos realizes that 90% of these seem to be used for governance. Staking in-game transactions, and then also as ways to incentivize players, as well as try to attract AI developers building out new stuff for their metaverse. They use it as rewards for those developers in different, not necessarily a fund, but kind of like bounties and challenges and stuff. So that is Delium. I remember when their nodes came out, there was a lot of hype around them, and then it kind of just vanished. So, what do you think, Mr. Alpha or Mr. Big D?
I feel like I should probably change that eventually. Yeah, it sounds interesting, but hearing governance all the time kind of it's like, damn, okay, more buzzwords, but that sounds interesting. Although, haven't all of our AIs basically had a similar thesis, like, oh, AI for this and AI for that? It's like, it's getting old, really. Can't they do something different?
Yeah, well, I'm going to open the chart. Let's see how badly Delium is doing versus the rest of the market. So they're actually number 301 on the list of tokens on CMC. And their market cap is 106 million. So that's always something that has room to grow. For the month, they're down 7%, which is not bad because I think the market was down 11% for the top 250 or top 300 altcoins. So they're slightly outperforming their peers. For the year, they're actually up 26%. So they're doing okay, but I guess not much. Like all alts, they're all red right now, and they're all slaughtered, and there's not much action, not much volume, not much hype, not much going on of anything. So
True. Crypto seems dead right now, which is an interesting phrase. We don't see almost any action. It's weird. Very
all right,
weird.
well, let's see what's next on our list. Oh, under blue chips. Well, this one I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
like. This one is AVAX, which is Avalanche. So Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain. Obviously, it's optimized, over Ethereum mainnet. It was launched quite a few years ago. Been around the block. It's seen, I think, last cycle's all-time high was like 140 something dollars. We've seen it as low as, I want to say it was like $8 or $12 earlier this year. Maybe it was 15. Or not this year, rather last year. And yeah, AVAX is the actual, chain token, the gas token, if you want to call it that. So you need it for transaction fees. You need to stake it if you're someone securing the network, participating in governance decisions, all that type of stuff. So AVAX is to Avalanche what ETH is to Ethereum, for example, or what any of the other gas tokens are to their chain. So because it's had a great history, it's actually done a lot partnership-wise since then. They have good connected people on the marketing side. They get a lot of partnerships and a lot of things that want to launch with them or on them. Even things like, top of my head, I think there was a lot of chains, especially Polygon was trying to get FIFA, right, to launch NFTs or do something with them, and they signed with Avalanche. And there was a couple other brands like that, real-world brands, that all picked Avalanche. So shows they're pretty well connected. I think the Avalanche Foundation even invests in their own meme coins. I think they had put money behind Cock when it first launched.
Yeah.
And then they put some money with what's it called, Big Red. So yeah, I think Avalanche is going to do well again. I don't know if they'll re hit their last all time high. That'll remain to be seen. But definitely, there's quite a bit of room to at least, in the blue chip category, we're looking for like a 2x, a 3x, a 4x. I definitely think they are going to be able to do that this cycle. So they're a safe blue chip pick, and take it away with your thoughts.
Mm. Ah, I mean, I'm actually quite a fan of the way that Avix does things, so I do look forward to what they have to show. I mean, Avex has been pretty wild growing as an ecosystem on its own, so I think we should be seeing some good movement from them hopefully this year. I think they've built out really well and steady. What was it? Was it Avalanche? Damn. No, I get confused sometimes with all of these. They're not all bad. They're not all bad. I promise. I think there's like four or so that actually came out right. Sometimes I can't get the good image, okay?
All right. Well, Avalanche, I think, people are familiar with it, so we don't need to talk too much. That's a good point, though. Ben, so a lot of chains, not enough liquidity right now for anything. We can see that with, Blast Launch. Well, they were a whole disaster on their own, but they had so much hype and money, but even they have no liquidity right now. And they had something like $2 billion staked there for a new chain. And then, yeah, just all these other ones, Mantle, Metis, there's all the layer twos for Bitcoin. A lot of things spread out. People say the same for altcoins, that they're not going to do as high multiples as last cycle because there are just significantly so much more of them, and that liquidity will be more spread out. But at the same time, it really depends, right? If we have 10 times the number of tokens, but we get 10 times the number of people and money in than we did, it'll still even out, I think. So I guess that remains to be seen if adoption keeps up with, the distribution, I guess. But yeah, that was to answer that. Let's see what category is next. I believe it is DeFi. This is another easy, popular one. So our pick for this week for DeFi is PancakeSwap, also known as Cake. So for those who don't know, PancakeSwap is a DEX, a decentralized exchange. It was mainly on the Binance Smart Chain. I believe they're doing some cross-chain stuff now. They offer yield farming, token swaps, little games, a little bit of gambling, whole bunch of stuff on there. But primarily they're a DEX. And Cake is for staking for rewards. There's liquidity provisioning rewards. You can participate in governance, which I'm tired of saying for all of these. And yeah, that basically they were very successful last cycle. Binance had a great run. They were a big part of it. They reaped a lot of the rewards from it. They've still been growing and doing well since. They have a lot more competition now, but they have a foothold and they have their audience. So they do release some new features. They released some V4 automation stuff for liquidity providing. It's not true. It's not truly a difference from V3 like Uniswap's V4 is. So I would call it more like a 3.5 if you want to do that. But they're on their way to doing more advanced things and letting more people do things with hooks in and building out their own services, leveraging what PancakeSwap has as a center. And most DEXs, I would say, are either a fork of Uniswap or PancakeSwap out there. So they're definitely, one of the two that people are super familiar and super using all their contracts all the time. So that's it. Like everything else, they're quite down from last cycle. So we think it's a pretty safe bet. They can get a few X's to get even if it's not a new high, get back a little bit near their old high, and that'll be good enough for the Moonbag.
That would be cool. Trying to think.
Hey,
PancakeSwap
Richard
is.
Balding.
Yeah, Richard popped in. He's always here. Good to see him.
Yeah.
Oh, and Miyagi's also here. Sorry for not saying hi, Miyagi. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
PancakeSwap is interesting because, like, when you think of PancakeSwap, you kind of think immediately BNB, but recently they've really decided to branch out. I think I've seen them on Base and what was it, Arbitrum or was it Avalanche? Damn it, so many things. It's hard to remember. But it's cool that they've actually decided to, spread it out further instead of, just leaving everything to Uniswap as the biggest liquidity provider everywhere.
I'd still like
It's
one of
cool.
these cross-chain dexes to actually introduce liquidity that sits in limbo, like a real shared liquidity.
Yeah, that
Um,
would be.
and no one has yet, and no one still is. And every time I hear something that sounds like they're about to do it, and then I talk to their team, it's not at all that. It's just the same basic way that everyone's doing. So, still looking for liquidity that sits outside the bounds of time and space. Um, so if anyone wants to build that, maybe a chain factory over here,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there would be something very, very cool from a tech perspective and very useful from a actual DeFi perspective, but also very difficult because I know when I tried to work with the Chainlink team on it, they just gave up effectively.
I know there's a few chains that have been trying that, with I think Polygon doing the ag layer, aggregation layer, and then trying to make them the chain for what's the word as they called it, unlimited. Uh, I don't know something, unlimited something. um, Liquidity, there we go. Unlimited liquidity. So they are trying that, but I don't know. So far, nothing has really stood out that would actually work. Even Uniswap has recently been trying to do a thing with cross-chain intents to make cross-chain transactions a thing, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. All right. What category is next is Deepin. And this
Oh,
one is my favorite pick of all our Moonbag picks. We actually, I think you spoke about it a little bit last week because one of our
yes.
guests also had it. But our Deepin pick is Render Network. So Render Network is basically decentralized GPU resources and a platform that connects users who need GPU, which is pretty much everyone in the entertainment space these days, with GPU owners who can rent it out. The render tokens are used to pay for rendering jobs and as a medium of exchange between those renderers and the creators. Now that they've fully migrated recently to Solana, there is a burn aspect in play. We've seen the burn actually going up quite a bit every day, where it's a fee off the payments for rendering jobs. So it's not quite 100% deflationary because they can also mint tokens still. So there's a balance there where it's automated, and basically when demand for GPU is higher, the burning's in effect and it's deflationary. When demand subsides, more tokens are then issued than are being burnt. So then it's inflationary. So you can't say it's deflationary. I've seen a lot of people throw that out there. But as long as demand is strong, then it is deflationary during that period. So yeah, Render has massive partnerships. Their CEO is like super connected to everybody, especially they have close ties with NVIDIA. They already have a partnership with Apple. They're in OctaneX, the rendering engine. They've done stuff already at like the Vegas Sphere. Their GPUs have been used. I just read yesterday one of the Marvel ones, the intro to Ant-Man and Wasp was completely rendered using Render's GPU network, and a whole bunch, long list of other stuff. So they're only growing and growing. And, eventually when people start picking altcoins, maybe, by next cycle, when they start picking them based on real utility, not just governance, Render is one that actually has proven track record now for 7 years, and they're growing rapidly. So yeah, I think Render is going to be the best pick, of our all our moon bags. But we shall see.
Render definitely sounds like it could be epic the bigger it gets. I mean, it's already epic on its own. Also, that is so cool. I did not know that they use the render network for that intro. That is dope. Just gives a perspective that it's something that's already powerful. It's just got a lot more room for grow. For growth. I can't English.
But yeah, they're I know they're speaking. I think their CEO is speaking as a keynote speaker at Solana Breakpoint in a week and a bit, and then they're also at
Ooh.
I think there's an Apple show right after that he's speaking at. So it's definitely, yeah, I think they're going to be the blue chip that maybe moves up the most. Right now, I want to say they're probably around number 40 on CMC. I would not be surprised by the end of next cycle to see them in the top 15, which obviously means quite a lot more market cap than they have right now.
Mm. Mm. Wow, man, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
So
GPU rendering
that,
is one of the biggest things that's really important at this point. Everyone wants something cool looking
yeah.
or to play a game.
All right, GameFi is our next category. So for GameFi, we have ticker Magic. Not Magic Formula, just Magic. But that is brought to you by Treasure, or I think they're also known as Treasure DAO. So basically, they're a decentralized GameFi ecosystem where Magic acts as the reserve currency, powering various NFT-based games that they have. Their token utility Magic's used to purchase in-game assets, staking, governance, connecting all the different games under the Treasure ecosystem. So it's one currency effectively for many games. And yeah, they've been doing well. They've been growing slow but steady. I want to see where they're at right now. I think they've been pretty decent considering everything else dropping. Let's find out. So they're at number 353 on the list. They are, yeah, they're down 3.3% this week. They're actually up 7.5% this month. But for the year, they're down 36%. So they are far from their all-time high, which was, yeah, $5.52. They're currently at 32 cents. So if you think they'll have an upswing, they have more than they had last cycle when they had that price. They now have more games. They have more features built out. They have more community. So I would say good chance they're gonna, make a couple of X's, get back up there. Even if you look, worst case, they don't make $5. Let's say they only make $2. That's still a pretty good, what is it, 7X from here? So
Mm-hmm.
all right. Any thoughts on Magic?
I mean, looks cool. I do wonder if the games are actually enjoyable though. Because I've seen them, most of them seem kind of low poly or lower. They're not very high end, which is cool. It means a lot of people can play them actually. So looks like it's an exciting thing that might just very well give us a few surprise X's. And hey,
Yeah.
GameFi is something that people enjoy.
Oh, you know what? I'm just looking at their titles. I've actually played Beacon. I think I still own an NFT character from that one.
Beacon. Oh yeah, I just saw that one. Oh, they have some really cool look. Mighty Action Heroes. I've seen that. I've seen that. Okay. So they have a few titles that have actually made it around, which is really cool. I
I'll
mean,
jump
once.
in here since Juniper mentioned Magic, the card game. So I used to play that when it first came out. Played some tournaments. Then I didn't play for many years. Then I played a little bit more when it was online again. And we actually 2 years ago spoke to Wizards of the Coast. We knew someone working there. We were trying to get them as an NFT client to produce everything in Magic Online as NFTs, and they were dead set against it. Every word we heard out of them was NFTs are a scam. We will never touch this. And you can still see that they have no plans to, do anything on the blockchain, which Magic Online would be like the perfect game for it. They have such a massive audience. They have, thousands of cards at this point that could all be digitally owned and then traded outside of their marketplace or within it. But yeah, they, as far as I know, they're still adamantly against NFTs.
That's a, hmm. It might take away the market share, which I suppose would make sense.
Well,
Because once they go on chain, then everyone will be like, okay, max
yeah, funny
blockchain.
enough, the
Okay.
founder though, of Richard Garfield, he was involved in some NFT scam projects, so maybe that's why. he he helped design blockchain brawlers on Wax, which was, they had Ric Flair as a celebrity endorsement, and it was hyped. They pulled in like $50 million in a couple of weeks, and then this was the most basic, terrible thing I've ever seen, and still is. So, yeah, there's definitely maybe some reasons why they don't associate with it, but. All right, so we diverged. I guess someone doesn't like NFTs.
That's funny. Okay. L1 and L2, I think.
Sorry, yeah, L1, L2. Okay, so this one people might not be familiar with, especially as a high up pick, but we're going with Neva, and Neva is a layer 2. Their focus is really around privacy more so than speed and scalability. But I'm sure they try to be scalable and speedy as well. But yeah, the Neva tokens are used, essentially for the transaction fees, staking for network validation and governance. So it's the same. The Neva token is to Neva what effectively AVAX is to Avalanche, right? We went over that earlier. Yeah, Neva's kind of an under the radar pick. Let's see how they're doing. I haven't heard of them in a little while now, but
I'm surprised you heard of them. I would never heard of them.
I don't think it's Neva coin. I think it's just Neva. Let me check.
Yeah, it's just Neva. Here's a coin market cap link. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Yeah,
Neva.
they're down 10%.
Yeah, down 10% today. Not great, but it's as you can see, a very small market cap. So this is one where we know a lot of people put so much attention to privacy, even though most of those people, just live a typical life and the privacy really doesn't matter. But let's see. It's down 4% for the month. It's up 36% for the year. With such a small market cap, this is one that if it does what they promise and actually catches attention, which is the much, much harder part, this could fly. If this goes up to 100 million market cap, or maybe 500 million or even $1 billion, we're looking at a lot of X's from here. So that remains to be seen. And yeah, I mean, they looks like they're also powering GameFi here now. They changed their homepage since I last saw it a bit. Yeah, you can just browse through it. They have, quite a few things here. They're trying to combine effectively, it looks like, Ethereum's reliability with Celestia DA and Polygon ZK EVM to basically enhance the privacy aspects, but then also boost performance. So pretty much same things every chain says. But yeah, when we looked into this one, it seemed to have a lot of solid pieces in place. And at such a small market cap, it was one where we're willing to gamble that it's going to be producing some excess. Next is the meme category, everyone's favorite category. So
always.
This one is obviously a play towards the elections, which are coming soon, which means we might not hold it in our bag that long. But this one was MAGA, and that was Trump. Now, there were a zillion Trump tokens. This one was, I think, the largest or second largest. Let me see. Yeah, it's number 268 on the list. So we can see it's probably been battered down. Oh, it's only down 10% for the month, which... Oh, I mean, we're only 5 days into the month, right? No, I think this is past 30 days. It is up 3,705% for the year. But yeah, this is obviously an election play. We said, let's go with the one that's the largest already. It has maybe less potential than some others that are smaller, but it has more chance it would lead the run first and actually still exist and not rug and such. So yeah, it has $133 million market cap right now. Around election time, could that multiply to 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe a billion? Possible. We'll see what happens, especially, will it pump leading into the election? And then if Trump doesn't win, will it just plummet to zero? Also possible. So we'll
What
keep
if it
an eye on that
pumps
one come
further?
November.
What if it pumps further after if he loses? People just like, yeah, now we gotta support Trump even more. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as long as that chick from Montreal does not win. What's her name? Harris?
Oh yeah, Kamala.
Yeah, no. She does not need to be president.
Yeah.
All right. Another narrative that a lot of people are excited for this cycle coming up because it had some but very little presence in last cycle is the real world assets, the RWA. So right now for this one, we're going with RIO, R-I-O, which is Realio Network. And Realio Network basically is all about tokenizing real world assets, as everything in the RWA category mostly is, such as real estate using blockchain technology. So RIO tokens are used for investing in these tokenized assets with fees, and then the transaction fees within their ecosystem. So RIO is, I think, one of the, maybe after something like Ondo, one of the top RWA tokens right now by market cap. Let's see. Where do they fall? Oh, they're not that. They're only $4 million market cap right now. So, yeah, year to date, they're up 145%. Month to date, they're down 37%. So, we'll see how they do. And, let's see how their social presence looks. Yeah, they have about 90,000 followers on Twitter, and they look like they have okay engagement at a glance. But yeah, they're, something like Ondo is a little different. They're really focused more on the real estate aspects, I think, here at Realio. So.
Not a bad.
All right, we get to our guest picks. So I won't speak too much on their behalf, but Mr. James Pelton picked Ripple XRP. So XRP is, a lot to be said out there, a lot of haters, a lot of lovers. There was a lot of SEC news for a while that I believe they won all of it, or there might be a bit pending still, but I think they won most of the cases or got them dismissed. There's countries rumored to be using it as their new digital currency, just rumors, nothing substantiated yet. But effectively, yeah, it's a low cost, token. Basically that people want to use as, they say, Bitcoin's a store of value. XRP was to be the actual transactional currency of the world, according to the creators. But I've never been into them, never followed them much. So this is Mr. James Pelton's pick. He's not here to speak about it. Anything you know or want to say, Alpha?
Anything I say is going to sound like I don't like them, which I don't. So I think I'll pass on this one.
All right. I'm just reading the comments for now. Yeah. I see there's a pipe fitting for Kamala. All right. So this one, we have someone in here from there. He's in our chat right now. But Magic's pick is Factory, which is Chain Factory. So Chain Factory is basically a platform to help everyone be able to build and deploy, different applications on the blockchain, smart contract builder, this type of thing, launch your own token, designed to be easy and powerful and offer a lot of features. And I'll let, I know he's not up here on stage, but I will let Juniper say, if he wants to add anything about Factory and maybe tease some alpha. I do believe they have Ape Factory coming, which I think is targeted more to meme token type launches. Again, I'll let him talk about it for whatever he'd like to say. Well, if you can pick your own token, I think most of AJ's would be eliminated.
True, true. uh, oh, it's a cool ecosystem though. I've been following how things are going over there. Quite like the UI and everything. So yeah, Factory is a cool one. I wonder if Juniper's typing. Probably gonna drop some
He
alpha,
might be
and then
typing now.
Michael's going to scold him.
Well, we'll give him a few seconds to do that. I can mention, for anyone here, any monsters that haven't checked it out, I can vouch for the team. I've been an advisor on there. They don't bug me too often, but I try to help out when they do or provide some connections and whatnot. But yeah, absolutely super hardworking team. Everyone on there is doing a great job. They've been doing this now, building this for, I want to say it's close to a year. Maybe Ben can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But you can definitely see the evolution and the progress as well. Even in just, the website design itself, from the first version to this one looks fantastic. So they've been making progress. We keep our eye on it. Definitely something we might use for some Monstro products in the future. But yeah, I'll read for those who are watching the video or listening, might not be reading chat. So Juniper says, excited to keep building out our products. Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could do that too. But I'll still read it. Excited to keep building out our products, including staking DApp builder, Ape Factory for our own version of a .fun narrative. So that's like those pump.fun type, systems. And December 27th, launch of token. I'm guessing December 27th was when Factory launched. Is that what you mean, Ben? Or is there something new coming on December 27th? Maybe Ape Factory has its own token? I'm not sure.
I'm confused now.
Yes. Okay. So we'll go with yes. But yeah, so Factory is something where that's definitely a hold type token. As they're building out real utility. Real utility tends to perhaps take a bit longer, run a bit slower than some things like memes or other massively influenced or hype things. But once they go up, they tend not to drop as drastically. Like, they're more steady. It's more like building a staircase, I find, with these type of tokens. And for a lot of investors, that's what they want. They want something consistently just going along, but going upwards, in a big picture time frame. And yeah, Factory definitely has, I think, that type of product and team with it. So it's not something that's going to, spike 1,000% and then drop 900% the next day. So if you're looking for a more stable investment, Factory might be for you. Oh, and we know at Monstro too, all about development can be slower than we desire. we're all working with tight resources in this market, and I know that both teams are bootstrapped or similar in that way, where we're not being funded by VCs and throwing millions of dollars around, and everyone on the team, on both teams, is just hard workers and doing their thing. So. Yeah, well, actually, there's an interesting point from Alpha. Does the team owning majority of supply scare other people off, or is it vesting on a certain schedule and people can see that transparently?
I think that will make a big difference, because people tend to get scared when they see one wallet holding 10% of supply. Oh, that's a good response.
Yeah, I mean, some investors might prefer that you care about how it's perceived, but I do think there is vesting involved. I don't know if it ended yet, but I know there was vesting at the beginning for sure. So.
Okay, that's Factory.
Yeah. Oh, and I will share. I almost had to sell some Factory. I've never sold any of the Factory I hold. almost had to sell some for my moving expenses because they were a lot more than I predicted, and my other things were down. But in the end, I sold off all my pulse chain junk and everything else I could so that I did not have to sell a single factory. So there you go. That's my endorsement.
Janupa says he buys because he buys when it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
They pump those numbers.
All right, let us move on to Crypto Mischief, Richie. So he picked Klima DAO, which I do believe we've spoken about actually on a. I think it was in one of our baskets as well, or it might have been one of the other guest baskets. But I think we've spoken on Klima DAO in the past, so we'll just kind of skip over them. And if you have been listening every week, or if you go back and watch the old ones, you'll find out all what it's about. But obviously, it has to do with climate change and trying to help offset some of the supposed damage the blockchain does and things of that nature. And finally, we have AJ's pick, which is Injective protocol. So Injective was really hot earlier this year. I think they ran really hard, probably in that February March period where Bitcoin and everything else was running. So they're layer one optimized for DeFi applications, derivatives, cross-chain trading. Injective is used, the token is used for transaction fees, staking to secure the network, and governance. And specifically with their governance, it's for users to vote on protocol upgrades. So anybody not familiar with them, I think they do, I might be wrong, but I think they do a lot with the Cosmos ecosystem as well. Let me check out how their price action's been. So they are in the top 50, the number 46. They, in the past month, have been up 9.4%, which is pretty good considering the past month for everything else. For the year, they're up 150%. And yeah, from their all-time high, they're actually about 2.5 times down from their all-time high, which was in March of this year. So this is one, a lot of people think it's going to do very well. We know interoperability is a big thing. We know that the more seamless and easy it can be made, and the more chains and such it supports, and the more it abstracts away from people needing to deal with the details. That's what Injective does, to my knowledge, and yeah, it seems like they're a pretty safe bet there for AJ.
It's a cool bet too. I think Injective's been around, what, years? Quite a long time. Yeah. I think we've heard of Injective since when? What was that when that other thing that was pretty big? Polkadot was big. I think Injective was around from that time already. Which is cool. Definitely a cool pick. I see apparently the latest new thing is Injective domains. Every chain is doing domains these days.
Yeah, we talked to trying to get what was it, dot monster or dot monsters, but they were both already taken.
Seriously?
We actually had a plan. We could have resold them for a much cheaper rate, get a nice discount. We had it all worked out. We can still do it with dot monstro, but I don't think the mass appeal is there for that one. Whereas if you were dot monster, that could have been something we could have tried to sell as a product on its own. But unfortunately, a lot of the cool names were taken. So we did not go into that realm at all. I think that one was with Unstoppable Domains, who we've had a previous partnership with. So,
damn, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Well, these were our token picks for the week. So I'll ask you the same question I ask every week when I am here. Which one was your favorite, or is your favorite?
Let me just double check what we had today.
And Juniper told me if you don't pick his, he might show up at your house.
Then Chain Factory it is.
Well, that was easy.
uh, jokes aside, Chain Factory is definitely one of my
It's called
favorites out of this
intimidation
list.
marketing. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Render as mine, just like Mr. Balding. I definitely like Render, have liked them for a long, long time. And I remember first spotting it and liking it at $1.36. Wish I had a bunch from back then at that price, but I do not.
Mm. Oh, hindsight 2020 is 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, my English,
All right.
not
The
English.
last thing I'll end this with is a little shameless plug for our newest product, our newest release, which is Monstro Pools, which has launched today. You can acquire them. Check our Discord announcement or Telegram announcement for the details. This is an interim kind of product meant to help people. There's no team share. It's following a lot more strict rules than Farms does. And it's, really just for anybody in between. Well, Farms is, the IL caught up to it. It's pretty much down in the dumps, like the rest of the market. This is something that can help meantime, and you have the ability to later convert it back into Farms units or into Golems units should we acquire more Golem space. So check out the details on Pools, see if it's something you like. It's meant to help, so if you want to get in it, great. If you don't, doesn't really change anything for us because there's no team share on it. We're not making money off it. So.
Oh, maybe I should ask this also while we have it.
I like that. I wish I had a hot tub because I've been sleeping on a terrible air mattress for like a week and a half now. Because all my stuff has not arrived and will not arrive for like 15 more days.
Ouch. Good luck.
Yeah. So me and Bullseye on a little air mattress isn't doing it for me.
So when you drove down, you just took the necessities.
Oh yeah. Everything else is coming by U-Haul. But yes, we need some pool-related emojis. So we know Styles is at Disney World right now, getting inspired. Hopefully, he's in their pools, and we'll basically be ready for his return and some new emojis.
Emojis and hopefully some, plushies too. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, we dropped that as a tease, but that one I'll have to wait till we have a little more cash flow going on. So until we mass produce them. But funny enough, I just got the CEO of Pudgy Penguins to finally answer me about something. So let's just say there's some impending talks about certain items that they do things with.
Richard asked, "Do you have a six you like on a dex you like on base?" Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I still am a big Alien Base fan. I know that we're heavily invested in them, right? A lot of people would say overinvested, overexposed. But despite that, we're up like 6x on our investment there for the year, plus all the yield it's yielded. Plus, we still think, there's a lot more to come. If base runs effectively, which we think it will, then we definitely think they have a spot. They're releasing new features. They have their missions having their tokenomics are great compared to competitors who are much bigger, much more known like Arrow. So yeah, as far as base goes, that's the only decks that we really like, and we talk to their team closely all the time. But I think there's still a lot of room there, a lot of potential. The risk reward is great still right now. But that said, we're semi-biased, right? Since we do work with them closely, they provided us our first Golems cap space, which is doing perfect. Golems is doing exactly what it was designed to do, how it was designed to do. All those holders very happy. Everyone else we're still trying to get more space from. It's been very difficult in this market. So, so for bridging, if you're coming from one of those chains, I like Squid Router personally. I know that some people like D-Bridge. I know that there's a few others. There's Orbiter Finance. There's Bungie, I think, and there's numerous ones, but pretty much all of them support Base with Binance or Polygon. So it should be a pretty simple hop to just send some over. But yeah, Squid Router is the one I use almost daily. That's the one Monstro uses to move its money around. So we like that one. But honestly, I think for those chains, you're not getting into like the kind of small unknown L2s. So as far as those three, like any of the major bridges will work.
I'm also a fan of Squid Router, so yeah, I'd definitely suggest that one. It's very fast and very clean UI.
Yeah, and you know what? Probably at some point when we have spare time or spare, resources, we'll probably just white label the Squid Router. They have an API for the bridge. Then we can probably just embed the bridge into Monstro's new website, and that'll be more convenient for people.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That is freaking cool. You can just use the squad router, what is it, embed system thing that they've added recently, which is so cool. White label solutions for the win. Didn't we have one coming up or something like that? A white label solution for something? What is it? Farms. Oh, but
It
farms
was
didn't
for
sound so bad.
farms, but the people that were we had two parties really interested, really pushing to go on it. One of them, their own plans got delayed, and they're still working on their own platform, which was NLG. And the other one who really pushed hard for it, as soon as it was ready, they ghosted completely. So
Damn.
technically, it is ready. It is there. We're not promoting it much at the moment because obviously the farm's results are down, so it's not super attractive. But contract-wise, tech-wise, we have the ability, yes, to do white labels and offer it to people. So
if y'all know anyone, any people that would like a white label farm,
yeah, the problem is the
know where
people
to go.
want it to be dedicated, their own pool dedicated for themselves. But some of them, for example, want to raise, $5,000, $10,000 to start. So we set a limit of no anything above 250,000, we can manage your own pool for you. Otherwise, it needs to share in the typical firm's pool, and that's also because we feel like otherwise it would be a bit unfair to our holders who are in that current pool. That new money is diverted away from them when everyone's getting better results. So unless it's a major amount where we feel like, okay, that justifies managing it separately. No, everybody, even the affiliate, exactly, these affiliates, these white label sales, they would go into the combined farms pool. And we don't think it's appealing right now to try to market and sell that to people. So we're just going to wait. And when everything improves, then we have it ready and we can just go after people then.
Looks like we probably had our first pool sale. Someone just dropped a comment and said they bought the pools.
We definitely had one before we got on the air here. That wasn't mine, so I can tell you right now. Oh, we've actually had a couple. We had two real ones. One was for the minimum, and the other one was for let's see. The other one was for 423 USDC. So, just so everyone's aware with pools, you can pick any amount you want. You don't have to mint like multiples of 100. You don't have to mint multiple NFTs. You'll be able to add on later. So this one's a little different than farms in the fact that, again, it's to help you out. So throw whatever amount you want in it above 100. That's fine. You can do any whole number up there, as much USDC as you like.
So I can do 101.
Yes, 101,000 for alpha coming
in. Okay, I think that's a question that everyone would want to know. So yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Anything
I
over
think
100.
unless anyone has any questions, we can wrap this up. We're just almost approaching the hour mark. So good job. We didn't run over time.
Yeah, or have it super short.
It's so weird now that I'm in PST seeing the times like, hey, we've done this. Usually this is in the afternoon, right? it should be about 3 p.m. And I'm like, oh, it's not even noon here.
Oh, damn, is that how different the time zone is? Crazy. So it's like morning on your side.
Yep. But all right, we'd like to thank everyone for being here, as well as our special guest, Juniper from Factory, to basically give us a few bits of info from over there. And yes, $1 of gas on base will buy you a lot. It'll probably buy you stuff for the next couple of years.
True, true. You could probably
Yeah.
have like a
So,
1,000
thanks everyone who
transactions.
joined, and shout out to Smiley. I didn't say hello yet, so hello, Smiley. I'm not wearing any of your favorite tank top hoodies, so that's why I'm not on camera.
Oh, damn, I just noticed you're not on camera today.
Oh, I just noticed Miyagi. Sorry, Miyagi. I don't say hi to old people.
So rude. He's so rude.
All right. Well,
Good
everyone have
night,
a
guys.
lovely day. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, we're always around as usual.
All right. Bye, guys. Time to Indian. And